All right, where are we? We're in the Easter tournament practice. Yeah, I'm not practicing yet. What I'm doing right now is I'm just scouting it out. So I'm checking it out. So when I start a tournament, the very first thing I do is I want to know where do I want to go? Where can I get? What's possible with the clubs that I have in the bag and the ball inventory that I have? Where can I get? And let's use our equipment to its best potential. This may be one of those tournaments where you pull out the big topper, you don't play with it all the time, but there's holes where you can play with that stuff. So usually my first day on a course is just figuring out what I want in my bag. Where am I going to end up? Then I start worrying about like trying to get to the cup. Ideally, when I'm playing, especially when I'm playing by myself, is I usually start off with no. I just do straight up adjustments and see where I'm at, and then try and fine tune it from there. That way, I'm not coming into it with numbers already set. So here we go. A par 3. This is a prime example. Par 3. Let's go look at it. Let's go look at it first. All right. Coming at it from through this zone, trying to bring it down to the cup. I can't remember if there was a rough bump. I'm not sure that there is. I think we had to bring it around, maybe with a bigger, like a 4 side spin ball or something that's got lots of side spin. I think they even had a 5 side spin ball where, because you've got to get so low. Let's see if I can pan back a little. Let me see if I can pan back so we can get the angle on the tee box. So the tee box to the flagpole in order to get into the rough and bringing it back up the hill. I can't remember if there is a rough bump there, but if there is, it will take a big side spin ball. Let's look at it in action. Let's see what it looks like. Now my opponent is using a QB. I never can figure out, like right here, my opponent's adjusting the ball, and they cannot see their ball guide. What are they adjusting? Like I'll be in a spot like that where I didn't give myself enough room, and I'll pop back out and I'll move myself further back so that I can see the flagpole and I can start. Sometimes I can only see the flagpole and I'm adjusting my ball guide, and as soon as my ball guide pops into the frame, I know I'm in the right. I know I'm there, but I don't understand how they're figuring this out. And then they came looked at it. I never that whole like blindly just making a wind adjustment like that. Like, what did they move? And still getting that close. It amazes me. We have all the science that's involved in the game, and yet people can still do that and get that close. All right, I know I switch balls. Switch into a katana. Now, this is something that you're not going to hear very often. He pulled the rocket out. Now, from this spot right here, like trying to find an area, watch my blue rings and see where I end up. Blue ring off in the transition, blue ring just barely into the sand. 5 backspin. Let's write that down. 5 1/4, maybe 5 1/4 backspin, and just a sliver side spin. 4-5, 4-5. Now with my rocket, I think it's 1.2 per ring. So let's see how many I adjust. What kind of an adjustment I make. Now this is another prime example right here. You get into these areas where the sand is, you can see the ring, my clear rings here. Here's where my right ring starts, and my clear rings here. So the more I get out into the fairway, you can see the distance from the blue ring to the clear ring here is not the same as it is here. It's longer. The sand is distorting my rings. So I'm trying to imagine in my mind that the arc is coming along and that my ring is really like up, like this ring is up in this area. So when I make my adjustment, I'm not all the way on the outside of my ring, because I'm not looking at the distorted ring here. I'm looking out here and trying to figure out what the arc is on the inside of that ring. This is not a good what would have been nicer here is if I would have put a little bit more backspin on it, I could have moved the shot forward and I would have been out here in the fairway where I wouldn't have had to involve the sand. All I had to do was move that shot forward and put a little bit more backspin on it. And this club's got lots of backspin, that's why I brought a rocket. This is why it's so important to record your own video, because you can go in and critique and go, hey, in this particular situation, if I'd have been just a little, if I would have moved it forward just to the front of my yellow ring, one ring forward, on this side right here, I would have picked up another ring. So I wouldn't have had to involve the sand at all to make that wind adjustment just by moving it forward a little bit with the backspin that I had at my disposal. Arrgh. All right, let's see how close I can get. And I make a bad wind adjustment because I'm dealing with that sand. But I did hit it perfect. And over pulled it. All right, there we go. We're probably going somewhere down in that area, but a rocket's not a bad club. Let me go back into the actual game. Have I been gone for too long? I've been gone for too damn long. So we'll sit here and we'll wait for the game to reload. We'll see how fast it reloads. I'm stuck at 95%. I'm sure everybody gets stuck at 95%. Let's go look at our options for backspin for drivers. So the rocket has 98 backspin. I'm sure that an upper level Apocalypse has more. No, it never gets more. Thor's Hammer does. It gets 100. And the rocket and the quarterback don't have near enough. So I might be able to, depending on, the quarterback's got 72 backspin. And I only used 5 1/4 right there. So I still had plenty of backspin left. You may be able to take that with the quarterback and get a better ball guide. Do I have a rocket set up here? I don't. Let's set up a rocket bag. Let's set this up as a rocket bag. Rocket Man. Rockets, well, if you've got a maxed out rocket, it's got 4.2 ball guide, so that's pretty close. Pretty close. Doesn't hit quite as far. You got to give the rocket some love, so this might be one of those tournaments where I bring a rocket out. There was a hole in the last tournament we played where we had the potential to play a rocket as well. Thanks for watching. That was hole number 8.